Well, President Donald J. Trump has now officially marked 100 days in office. Naturally, we wondered, how do you think he's doing?
The first 100 days, we've taken historic action.
Doesn't seem like he got a whole lot done, which is kind of concerning.
I think he's definitely taken steps towards keeping the country a little bit safer.
What grade would you give him for his first 100 days?
C-.
Presidencies are not really determined during the tenure.
Right.
During 100 days, right?
Yeah.
He controls the whole House. He controls the Senate. Hasn't got anything pushed through. It's kind of sad.
D+, maybe?
D+. You feeling optimistic?
I would say probably B-, C+.
His executive orders, they're not laws. They are just something that he's written and with directions, but not anything that he's followed through on.
Generation of people that think this is an executive order. Just doing this the whole time. Rob is with us this morning. Marianne is with us this morning. So Marianne, let me start with you. In the grade department. Professor Marianne Marsh.
Yeah.
What is the grade for El Presidente?
D-.
D-.
As bad as these 100 days have been, they're only going to get worse. So you got to leave a little room there for it to go south even further.
Why am I not surprised?
Professor Rob Gray, what?
Well, it's a C+. I mean, it's been trick or treat. But don't forget that we all sat around and tut-tutted him, and all the Washington pundits did too during the campaign, and we were all wrong. And middle America they like what Donald Trump is doing. He's stomping all over the Washington establishment. He's not going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. They love it despite all the, I guess you can call them failures thus far.
Rob, he's got a 53% unfavorability rating. How do they love that? They don't.
Well, but people thinking the country's on the right track, that is up 6 to 8 points. So Trump is unpopular. It's been fits and starts, but listen, in middle America, they are happy.
When the bar is that low, you trip over.
But he campaigned on draining the swamp. Do you think he's draining the swamp?
No, listen, no. He's not.
He's the swamp.
Listen, this is a lot. He's become more establishment, but it's cloaked in these kind of outrageous tweets, which means that people aren't noticing.
Most unpopular president ever with the least amount of accomplishments in the first 100 days, period.
Well, I don't disagree. Listen, I gave him a C+. I don't think he's doing that great on policy, but don't underestimate that he still has a lot of political strength. And we judge based on 3 years, not 3 months, ultimately, presidents.
Not getting any better.
You heard Mayor Dan Rivera this morning talking about whether he's worried or not about what ends up happening in his own city. How worried, is he right? Do you agree with him, disagree with him? How worried should Massachusetts cities and towns be at this point between the budget cuts and the sanctuary cities' threats, Marianne?
Well, I can understand why he's worried, but he doesn't need to worry as much. The fact is the White House has no authority to stop the funding of sanctuary cities. That's up to Congress. And the usual situation every mayor and Democrats are in is it's a Republican Congress. So you just have to fight for the funding every single time on both counts.
Not too worried? The cities and towns?
No, funding's not in jeopardy. And in fact, I mean, Trump's tax plan, if it goes through, Massachusetts might be better off. I mean, there's a lot of corporate taxes going down that's going to repatriate money overseas to Massachusetts that corporations have now.
And middle-income taxes go up.
The president brought the senators to the White House to talk about North Korea, and many of them emerged from the White House meeting saying that they learned nothing. Marianne, should people have confidence in this administration?
No, this was the one bright, shining bipartisan moment we've seen where Democratic and Republican senators, to a person, all said, I learned more from the newspaper than I did about this briefing. This briefing and the one-page tax proposal was all about the shiny object they wanted the media to follow, so they would forget about the fact that it was revealed this week Mike Flynn took even more Russian money than he did before. So this happens every week now. The Trump White House is trying to put out shiny objects out there. The media follows like little puppy dogs because they're trying to cover up the real scandal and the real story here: Russia, Russia, Russia.
Rob.
Here's the thing. North Korea, ticking time bomb, no question about it. But did it start ticking 100 days ago? I don't think so. It started ticking well before that. Barack Obama was the president for 8 years, okay? And he had failed diplomacy on North Korea, let's face it. So does Trump have all the answers? I have no idea, but Barack Obama didn't have the answers
the problem here is they're using it as a political foil, just like taxes. That's the shameful thing here, is to use a dangerous country like North Korea, which Obama warned Trump about before he put his hand on the Bible, and they're using it as a political ploy to distract people from Russia.
I think it's real concern, and I think with the Olympics coming up there, it's right that we have real concern.
Back here at home, Governor Baker and law enforcement leaders want to update laws and penalties for sexting and revenge pornography. But is there a First Amendment issue here, Rob?
Well, I don't really care if there is. I mean, and I don't think lawmakers do either. I mean, technology is tough, especially with teenagers, and we need to keep up, and I'm glad they are.
But will First Amendment issues stop this from perhaps passing?
No, you can say whatever you want. That doesn't mean there won't be a consequence. Adults should know better, and if they don't, pay a price. For kids, I do think Baker's done the right thing here, which is to really hit the adults, but give the kids the opportunity to learn from a mistake and not ruin their lives.
Next item, Winthrop Square. It's been an eyesore for decades now. It looks like Millennium Partners may get an exemption from a 1990s law that barred structures that cast a shadow on the common and the public gardens. The question for Marianne and Rob this morning, is this opening a political Pandora's box here? Marianne, let me start with you.
It could be. It's hard to turn down $153 million that could go to housing and public parks. That said, on the sunniest day in New York City, you don't need your sunglasses because the sun never comes down. And as somebody who walks the wind tunnel that is Clarendon Street on a regular basis, like horizontally, you know, it's hard. So these things really do matter. So if it's a one-time thing, good, but it's got to be a one-time thing.
Rob?
I think Marty Walsh and Brian Golden at the BRA, they've done the right thing. It's a reasonable exception. It's a lot of money for housing in the inner city. And I think the city councilors who voted against it, they're kowtowing to their big donors on Beacon Hill who live around the park.
In the Boston mayoral race, Tito Jackson has fired his campaign manager and his finance director. His paid staff is down to essentially himself at this point. Is the handwriting on the wall, Rob?
Well, he's had a bad month, no question about it. But if you're in this far, why not stick into the end? I don't know.
Do you see him collecting his signatures and being on the ballot?
Signatures, probably. I mean, this was always a tough race, and it's been tough given how Tito's handled it. So the question is, what does he do from here? It is even more difficult to make a good second impression. Just ask United Airlines.
Scott Brown, ambassador to New Zealand. He's ambassador to New Zealand. Now we know he's a second ambassadorship to Samoa. Reaction, Marianne, in one word is?
One word? Good luck. I mean, they're very serious over there. They're very serious. They love politics as much as they love their All Blacks rugby team.
Marianne's just happy he's going to be thousands of miles away, not just over the border.
I'm on the radio there. Radio New Zealand.
We're going to take a break while she's on the radio there.